Okay, so here's a question that I want to put out to you guys. So in Beauty and the Beast, all of the like things like Mrs. Whatever, the teapot
Pots.
and her child
the
and stuff
household
like that.
servants.
Yeah, the household servants were all turned into inanimate objects or
Animate objects.
animate objects, right? Did the toilet get turned into somebody?
They-
And
yeah.
in what was the teapot's child?
Chip.
Chip had a big chip out of its side, right? So what
Yeah.
happens when it turns into a human? Does it have a giant?
I think he was missing
Chunk.
a tooth.
Yeah, he's got a big
Giant-
chip tooth.
Oh,
Yeah.
It seemed like it would be a
Watch the
giant
fucking movie,
giant
Rob. Then
chunk out of
come
the
back
side
to us
of
with
the
some real
skull.
questions.
The question is like, did
What-
he have the chip tooth before he was turned into the cup, and that's why he had a chip in the cup, or did someone break the cup? I mean, like I don't know. Like they never really show us. Like, can you destroy these inanimate objects?
I mean, like honestly, wouldn't it
Or
actually
just
be
one human
wouldn't-
in pieces on the ground from the fight from before?
Wouldn't that be his skull?
I don't think it's an exact 1-to-1 ratio because there's a lot more child than there is cup. You know, you could. There's 2 girls, 1 cup joke in there. I saw it in the background, and we just kept driving. Like the woman who turns into the wardrobe is like the fiercest warrior, and she becomes like a normal looking woman afterwards. Like she's not some brick shit house of a woman. You know, like
Remember her being a brick house?
she's a big lady, but she's not like history's largest
a
wrestler who could beat up
That's what was going through
Gaston,
my mind.
who could
Right.
historically eat every egg in the world every morning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was the thing about Gaston, right?
Yeah.
Because he was always stealing the eggs. He was creating like an egg.
Yeah, there was actually a talk about how like the town was so poor because Gaston was just eating all the eggs.
In the song where it's like, who's this girl? Where they sing, at one point they mention the price of eggs and how expensive they are. And then 2 songs later, it's the Gaston song, and he eats 3 dozen eggs every day.
Yeah, he's like, when I was a boy,
Gaston
I ate
called
3 dozen
inflation.
eggs.
But when he's-
Now, man,
but when
I
he's
eat
in-
4, like 5.
Five dozen
5
eggs.
dozen eggs now.
Meanwhile, this city is destitute. Right?
And he's really quite good at expectorating.
That is a lot of eggs. He's probably farting a whole lot of fucking
well,
salt.
I don't
I
think.
wonder how he eats them.
I don't think
like
you could
hard
even
boiled, scrambled.
I think he
overeaten,
puts in a
like,
big jug and he
Just-
rockies them, you know?
5 dozen, so 7. That's
60.
70, right?
That's
60
60
eggs.
That's 60 eggs.
Is that his whole nutrition for the day?
One
That's
egg
got to
is-
be really unhealthy.
One egg is around 60 or 80 calories. Is that right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll trust you.
Hey, if you subscribe, you're allowed to reply in the comments about whether that's true or not.
For an easy math, let's say it's 60 times 60. That's 3,600 calories per day.
Yeah, but that's still
Yeah, but
like-
that guy was fucking swole, dude.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
needs extra calories.
That's
a
Yeah,
good
but
point.
gain weight.
but
And it's pure
if he's
protein.
only just eating eggs.
How do you force those out of your butthole? Like that's
The same way a chicken does.
You need some, I was gonna say, you need some serious fiber in your diet to push that out.
No one shits like Gaston.
That's because he doesn't.
Yeah. That's why he's so small.
Each
He's got
day he
six-
shits 18 small bricks like Gaston.
Or he's struck the perfect balance of calories in to calories out, and he doesn't even exact waste anymore. It's Blood Feud with a sheep.
That's the only way I could picture like having like a world where like no one needs to pee or poo is if you got everything through an IV. And even then, like you'd be getting liquid, but like
yeah,
it would
you
have
still
to
have to
be.
pee on IV.
It depends how much you were getting though, and how much you were expending, because you also lose liquid through sweat.
That's a good point.
So like it's like, that's the only way that I could see it possible. But like we are not at that point in science
Yet. But
Yeah.
someday. Look at Elon Musk on this.
Okay, but hear me
Find
out.
a way to get
And the guy
people-
from Human Centipede.
Someone tweet him.
Hear me out. We perfect.
I hate that thought went through my mind earlier, and I was gonna bring it up, but I
Stephen, we perfect dietary science. Perfect amount of calories in, perfect amount out. You get, scanned by lasers or future shit 3 times a day. It figures out how much you need for meals. You go to bed, perfect. Wake up, perfect. How much money do people pay at the zoo to see somebody shit? Because no one's done it in like 100 years.
The zoo?
I mean, no one's pooping in the real life.
Oh,
Clark.
I would imagine that there would be
inhumane.
a performer.
Oh yeah, or like a museum, like a modern
There's a
art
circus.
show.
Yes,
or,
absolutely. We're so
yeah.
there's a it would
It's a
just be like
circus act now.
a sold out theater.
Yeah.
Some guy just walks out onto stage and sits on a chair that's got a hole in it and just sits
And
there
the conductor's hands go up.
Forget the bearded lady. Man, that remake of The Greatest Showman's gonna be weird.
Like some reviews would be great because it's like a nice consistency log, but some days it just wouldn't work out for them. It's like
Yeah, I got stage fright and I couldn't go.
Why didn't anyone tell me there was a splash zone?
it's the thing.
Sniffer's Row has a new meeting.
Well, now is probably a good time for us to reintroduce ourselves to our listeners. Hi, everyone. My name's Clark, and I play Lojan, the half-elf cleric.
Is he a horse?
Nay, he is not a horse. Who is currently residing in the flesh and bones of a tinker,
Well, actually, we don't really know if there's bones yet.
the gelatinous form of a tinkerer.
It could be a sentient cube.
Yeah,
sentient.
there's bones in there. See, I feel them. I smell them.
Plot twist where he's actually
Yeah.
just been a mimic the whole time.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of a fun fact about Lojan. Here's one.
He doesn't poop.
Actually, no, I'm not going to reveal that because I think it's going to be hilarious if it actually ever comes
You
into
can
play.
reveal if he poops.
No, not that. Yes, he poops. Absolutely. He shits.
All over himself, because that's apparently what the Church of Elmad is like.
Yeah. I think I've kind of made this clear, but he's kind of having prayers enter his mind that are not prayers from Ilmater. These are not from the Book of Suffering. These are prayers from elsewhere. Divine, what's it called when God enters your brain?
Intervention.
No.
Touching. Slightly caressing.
Because I'm like, when the Bible...
Revelation.
Revelation. Okay.
Divine
Divine revelation. Interesting. Because I was going to say, when the Bible was written, even though it's written by the hands of humans, the Holy Spirit was in their body when they wrote it. So it was divine something. Hence why it's the book of Revelation. Anyways,
When you said, I don't know if I've really made this too obvious, but I'll let you know a little. He's got a little problem with alcohol. That's where I thought you were going with it.
he's got a bit of a drinking problem.
Anyways, I am Steven.
Hi, Steven.
And hi, Rod. I play Shun.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Rod. He is a halfling.
Hi, halfling.
monk. Fuck off. He is a halfling monk, and he is currently in the body of the High Inquisitor, who is a female human paladin. And she also has a little emo swoop kind of thing in her hair, and it's pretty dope.
Is it pink?
Gray at the moment. It's all gray.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Are you sure that's not like a Karen swoop?
I kind of actually, it's more of a Karen swoop. I kind of picture it like, I can't think of her name, but it was like the general from Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh, I never saw. Oh, wait, I did see two.
Yeah, played by not Jamie Lee Curtis, but the one who's like her, who's mean. But like not
Jamie
mean
Lee
in-
Curtis is known for being
No, but
mean.
like not mean in real life. She's mean on a lot of shows. She's a really nice lady. She played Sue Sylvester. She was
Is she from Glee?
Glee. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, her and 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't know her name.
Jane Lynch.
Oh, Gene
that's
Lynch.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best in show.
Right. Hi, I'm Scott. I'm your gamekeeper and narrator for the session.
Hi,
And
Scott.
among one of at least 5 voices that I can do, I'm this guy, the skeleton boy. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't get
Hi, folks. My name's Rod. I play Alacordia, a young female rogue who is now in a giant-ass Goliath body. It's kind of unnerving for her. She still doesn't really know how to pee properly yet, so it's kind of, she's trying to figure this out. She's still squatting.
Do you think so? Like
Yes.
the origin, or sorry, what's the term I'm looking for here? The
They're created by God.
geography of Goliaths is they come from the mountains, right?
Yep.
So I'm imagining there's a lot of piercings on these Goliaths.
No, there's supposed to be a lot of tattoos.
Oh, okay. No piercings.
I don't think they would have access to advanced metallurgy, particularly in this kind of setting that we're going for.
Eh.
Like they would do a
Just
lot
a
of trading
stone
for
Prince
metals.
Albert.
But
I was going to say, I mean, bone piercings were around before metal piercings.
It's true. Yeah.
yeah, I could see,
But that's what I was imagining. I was imagining several little rib bones of like a chicken just pierced through the shaft of gold.
but they're chicken bones, so they keep breaking.
Yeah. Rod's like, oh.
I'm not gonna do that one into canon just yet.
Just wrapped,
Just yet.
wrapped around one of those curved goat horns.
Goat horn.
Oh God, we're the worst. What happened last time? We rooted out the heretics. They are in the square, awaiting your order to be hanged.
They shall live in the nearest Ilmatari village and integrate with the people, and we shall teach them our ways.
I was momentarily surprised by the mercy that you have shown, given this campaign we have waged together where you have not. And of course, the Living Saint will be displeased with your actions. You see that the legions have kind of packed up and they are marching away, and all that's left is kind of Sextus on his horse. And he looks at you and he goes, the legion heads due south. We're 7 days ride out. We will march in earnest from dawn till dusk until we arrive back. We eagerly await your arrival. One quick thing though. There's a nearby village that reports perhaps, I wouldn't call it criminal extortion, but there's apparently some local gang who's been stealing all of their cows. Now obviously this is too small task for the legions. However, I do know you seem to have taken a recent penchant for social justice, so perhaps it seems like a thing you'd want to check out. And he spurs the horse and he rides off like the dick that he is.
And she kicks open the doors to the Dons. Housewarming. Or housekeeping.
When you came here originally, you said I could have dominion over these lands. The Calvarites wouldn't bother me no more. But what is change of plan.
Say, how'd you die? Who killed you?
His father killed me. The man that he loves more than anything in the world, who raised him and was there consistently throughout his childhoods, never gambling, paragon of virtue, head of the city guard.
His isn't.
Oh, Alacordia.
Davos?
That's right, he's a very upstanding gentleman. He murdered me. Also, and he points at Lotion, he goes, you should be very careful entering the Citadel of Truth. Use a lot of the juice you got, because the undead can't come and go from that place, ever since the Grand High Sufferers threw up the barriers.
Now there's 3 magic items, but there's 4 of us. How do we decide which 3 get the items?
Well, let's see what they are first, maybe.
Okay. You ring the bell and you feel this. Whatever happened over the past 6 seconds, nobody except for you remembers. But they all remember you taking the bell out and ringing it for some reason.
Yeah, we didn't ask you to ring it yet.
Yeah, you did.
And Lojan looks at this straw pork pie hat and goes, no, this is far too silly. And this is like a frisbee.
It lands on his head, and Sir Steele just goes. Where he was sitting, there's now a Snellnerfelheim, which is like the dark gnomes.
Or Alacordia will grab one bean and then just throw it into the corner.
A potted plant appears in the corner of the room.
Are you serious?
A small plant with blue flowers.
Wait, what?
Yeah!
In a pot. Grows from the bean. So Sir Steele picks up this giant fern and he goes, I feel a magical urge to protect this plant with my life. And you all kind of do too. You head down. Front doors are open. And you can see that there is a beautiful looking bone chariot with a bunch of tin cans tied to the back of it.
Oh, perfect. They've got a ride for us.
Lotion, Shun, Sir Steele, and the plant take the 4 seats inside. And you just hear the sound of a whip cracking, and all these bones start rolling, and it rolls off. Well, bring me some cotton balls.
Motherfuckers.
That was better. That was, yeah.
It's good.
It's hard without the cotton balls. It really is.
I can get that.
You start rolling down.
You
the
struggle
road.
without balls in your mouth?
You start rolling down the road, making your way towards the Citadel of Truth, and it's about a half day's ride. This sun has gotten pretty high in the sky, so you're going to be basically riding. I mean, it's like 9:30, 10 p.m., so you're going to basically, at this point, arrive at 4 in the morning.
Well,
Unless
Before we do,
We should probably ditch.
is there any dialogue that you guys want to have inside the carriage? Because Alacordia is outside the carriage.
Well, and just to put a point on that, unless you wanted to take a rest, not ride through the night, and instead arrive at a reasonable point in the morning.
We should probably ditch the carriage before we get there,
Spell
too.
slots back and all that jazz.
It sounds like they don't really like dead people there.
Lotion would.
And I like to keep things peaceful in my dreams.
Zuck Markerberg would absolutely be like, I think we should stop and set up a camp and sleep for the night so we can, because we've had a busy go at it the past few days, and I think we need.
It's only been a day.
How many?
This whole Bone Zone encounter has probably only just been a day.
Did we sleep in the mansion?
No.
We've gone straight through the mansion.
No, I mean
We slept
the
one
fake mansion.
No, we went straight from the camp, didn't we?
We went straight from the camp.
It was about half day's ride.
It's been a long day.
Okay. We should rest though. It's been a long day, and we don't need to go to the. Well, actually, you know what? Let me ring the bell. Lotion's gonna be like,
on yourself.
Lotion's gonna be like, I'm, because Lotion's nervous to go to this tower. He avoids the tower of the willful sufferer in Telbos quite a bit now. And what's this tower called?
The Citadel of Truth.
The Citadel of Truth. So he's nervous to go there, and he's like, oh well, maybe it's, as he's dabbing sweat off of his forehead, being like, maybe it's wise that we stop for the night and rest and regenerate our strength and our spell slots.
So, Lotion, what could you tell me about, like, my dad then? Like, my in-dream dad. The living saint.
I wrote this and I didn't get that.
I was about to be like, Steven's got daddy issues apparently.
Talk to me about my dad.
Just like real quick before we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. Scott, you'll have to help me out
Like,
here.
I mean, I've heard
I'm
so
pulling
many
up the
different
document.
things
Okay, yeah.
about, like, this whole, like, Ilmatari religion. I mean, pieces here and there. I mean, like,
For the
there's
listeners at
there's
home,
this Saint Stephen guy. Like, what's up with him?
for the listeners,
What's the deal with him, huh?
for the listeners at home,
No, Lotion, you're not listening to me. What's the deal with him?
hang on. You, sorry, the High Inquisitor's father is who again?
The living saint.
Oh, he's Celestine?
He is the yeah.
Actually, you've heard his name. It's Gaius Erasmus.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's right.
Erasmus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
you.
Okay, so Lotion goes, well, back in Telbos, the living saint is not this Erasmus fellow. He's named Celestine. And he is...
Saint Celestine is both very charismatic and odd. People are immediately taken in by his presence, like he fills up a room without even saying a word, which is good because he's incredibly soft-spoken. He gets physically too close to people and doesn't respect personal space, but is weirdly empathetic in a way that makes you feel very comfortable and willing to emote next to him.
I just imagined Larry David.
Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
He claims that he can speak to Ilmater in his dreams, but he also rarely sleeps because every time he dreams, he sees the suffering of the low folk when he does so, which gives him terrible nightmares. I just wanted to remind you of that before.
Thank you, because it's been a while since I've looked at
I figured.
my religious document that you sent me.
Yeah, so I go to this like Saint Stephen guy though. Like, what's the deal with
Okay,
him?
we're not going to talk about Saint. Okay, Lotion goes, Saint Stephen, and he touches. He touches his cheeks and his wrists, and he goes, oh, poor Saint Stephen.
The twice martyred.
The twice martyred. I cannot. For the pain is still too near about how tragic his story is.
I hate you.
The pie.
You have one of mine? Let me take it back.
But Saint Celestine, and I relay that when I say,
yeah.
but this, what's it? What, Erasmus?
Erasmus.
Erasmus.
Ignatius Erasmus?
Gaius.
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 Wait, it is Gaius.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's your dad's name.
Gaius Erasmus.
Oh.
Like I did that on purpose.
Oh, right, because
Ooh.
Gaius is your halfling father's
Yeah.
name. Right, okay.
That's why Alacordia
We don't
was asking
we don't
about
actually
it.
have a last name.
It's just Lotion.
I never caught that before.
Yeah, but Lotion goes, but Your father's name is Gaius, correct? And Gaius Erasmus? I've never heard of this fellow. I'm assuming there's no Gaius Erasmus in the Church of Elmater back in Telbos?
None that you've ever heard of.
Okay.
Certainly not in a position of authority like this.
Okay.
Did their lips ever like move differently on like Gaius?
No.
Perception check.
Is that a 1?
Yep. Only a 9 for perception, and I will roll my D100.
Oh, no.
100s.
This is a good
Okay.
session so far. It was just... Shun is just prematurely ejaculating all over the place.
85 and 9.
9?
9.
Chat a bit more about the saint while I type this up.
That's all I have to say.
Fuck.
Come on, Clark, working that backstory, buddy.
Oh, well, let me say this. You're not sure. You weren't paying attention when he said the name because you were kind of focused on other stuff.
Right, yeah.
It might be your brain doing the thing where it substitutes in the name that you know because that's what's been happening so far, or it might be more than that.
So Lojan continues on about Saint Celestine. He goes, I've only met Saint Celestine once in my entire life. It was, at the time, one of the greatest honors of my holy career.
Like your whole career or your holy... Like, did you do something else before?
Of my whole career.
Okay.
But, having gone through what I've been through the past few months, I can't say I'm looking forward to being in the presence of the living saint. I don't know what to think of him anymore.
What do you mean you don't need it? You know what to think about him anymore?
What do you mean?
And the skeleton driver out front's like, hey, you know, stuff from down there.
Hey, Scott. I just want to know. Number 2. Like,
You don't know.
once we jump back...
You don't know?
Ooh.
Flip for it.
Oh, I am. Heads was 1, tails was 2. Thank God.
So,
Tell the audience.
Heads
Yeah.
is always 1. For the next day, you become proficient in every skill you are not currently.
Oh, that's not too bad.
What was the alternative?
You permanently lose the ability to smell.
now is that to, like, smell?
Like to
or,
give off odor?
or to give off odor?
Yes.
Both.
That's actually not as bad. Or do you just think you're not giving off odor because you can't smell it?
Both.
You'll never know.
Shouldn't
Because
say
everyone will just tell you smell because they're gaslighting you because you're a woman.
Oh,
If I can role play for a bit here.
Please.
This is a good time, maybe for Lojan, now that we're on the carriage. And he goes, but when I left the Church of Elmater, you'll remember I told you about the letter I received from Morty Upholder. I went on a bit of a sabbatical from the Church of Elmater to track down this Morty Upholder and the bizarre writings that he was sending me. And it was when I was on this trip that I considered a wild goose chase at the time that I saw 2 things next to a graveyard. One was a giant, massive, glowing-eyed panther. The other was in the graveyard, was an odd symbol that I couldn't make out, and a half of a prayer that I now recite fairly regularly. So now I think that I'm on a different path, and I don't want to go back to the path of Elmater. I must find out what this panther is.
the gentle rolling of the carriage continues in the background as Shun looks at his phone instead of replying.
I'm trying to see if the, no longer Adrian requires breathing or food lasts long or not.
I love how there's this what a perfect emo teen move, right? Like there's this very poignant view into your past, how you left your faith for a while, how it faltered, and then the person next to you turns and goes, "What?"
Yeah, so you don't want to go back, is what I'm hearing.
I don't want to go anywhere within 10 leagues of the Tower of the Willful Sufferer or
Well,
the
this is the
Citadel of
But this is a
Truth.
different place. You've never been
True.
there.
It's true. It could be amazing. There could be circus rides and clowns everywhere.
That
I hate fucking
sounds
clowns.
horrible. That
And then the same music, but it's in minor key.
this is when we find out that Lotion's actually like
As
Lotion
Alec-
puts on the pork pie hat, becomes a carny.
All right, now back to Alec shouting out the window at Alacordia. Alacordia!
Well, let's just say that she's got her head in through like the sunroof or something.
Sure.
What was the question again?
How do you feel about going to meet your father?
This isn't something I'd ever anticipated in my life.
Do you think he'll be a Goliath too?
I don't know what to think, Sean. This whole experience and world is not what obviously we're used to. We've been transported here personally for some purpose. The Weaver had some design to give us some type of insight into.
That kooky old lady?
Yeah, I mean, maybe once we find out who Jeremy is, we'll figure out what the fuck's going on.
We should start asking people if they're named Jeremy. But again, I still think it's just some noxious gases in those caves.
Sean, I don't. You can keep on thinking all that you want, but there's something going on here. There's too much of a coincidence that all of these things are piling up on each other. That is now my father being alive, the Dawn being Ophelia Rosak, Lotion having, an instance with the Living Saint, your father actually being the Living Saint here. Like, there's too many coincidences.
Whatever. I still have one of yours already.
Yeah, hopefully, Sean, you'll actually realize that this might be something that will invoke some type of soul searching for you.
Maybe. I think Alacordia is right.
Well, I mean, if anything, like I'm a little confused that like I'm a tall human woman in my dreams. That's a weird one.
Of a tall human woman
Absolute 10.
With Rob,
who does
with
not,
Robin.
who has no conscience and has no fear of repercussions,
Who's
of persecuting the innocent.
who's been a murderer.
Hey, I didn't kill anyone.
No.
I let them live.
Scott's like cranking his neck, being like,
But if we're all led to believe,
I told other people to kill them.
Hitler's like, I actually never killed any Jews.
Here's a fun fact.
We're in a dream.
0 people. This guy over here.
You're the one who wanted me to kill them. First off, Alacordia.
okay, well,
And Lotion told me not to, so I listened to... I don't know why I listened to Lotion. Lotion's usually drunk, but that one seemed to... I don't like killing people.
Speaking of which, Coachman.
but if you're looking at the past of what you are and what maybe you are playing, this person has created atrocities. You raised the Dawn again.
Well, like, I mean, was that us? It was us before we were us.
That's a good point. It was this flesh and bones, but it wasn't our consciousness that did it.
What he said.
But it's still somehow we're playing these
Kooky
people.
old lady.
We're doing these people.
Jeremy?
We are these people now. And we have to deal with whatever repercussions they have placed on us.
That's true.
Or we can give them even more repercussions for when they're back.
Well, I guess there's that.
I'm thirsty.
Which we probably are.
Perception check, Lotion.
The coachman's gone.
7.
In the door of the carriage, like down where a cup holder would be, where no one can see but you next to the seats, there is in fact a bottle, and it's just got -L with a heart.
Lloyd.
Oh, I didn't put that together. I was thinking.
I
about
was
the
picturing
dawn.
like a bottle of champagne for like the happy couple or something.
That's what I was thinking too.
I was going to
It's
give you
actually
more,
just
but you rolled
bone.
a 7. I tried to make it as vague as possible with the
You
7.
find other bottles, but it's actually just bone marrow.
Yeah, I go.
Just milk.
I go. Oh, I point out the window and I go. Oh, wow! Look at that coyote.
Can I roll insight?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I got a nat 20 on perception.
On perception, there's unicorns running by. But you're not distracted by that. You notice he's faking.
18.
Yeah, you all missed this majestic herd of unicorns.
And watch Lotion be like, look out the window.
There's one male, and he's just like, I am the last of my kind.
When nobody turns their head, I go, oh.
And a rainbow forms, and they ride up into the
And
sky.
Lotion's actually like leaves the alcohol and is like, oh, holy shit.
Well, yeah, I'm not going for it because you guys didn't turn your heads. But meanwhile, can I roll perception to see if I see these?
It's the wild hunt, but it's like the nicest thing you've ever
So
seen.
20. I rolled a 20.
It's it's the most beautiful thing you've
So
ever seen.
I go, look, a coyote, and then suddenly unicorns, and they're jumping, and there's rainbows, and I'm like, and you guys aren't looking because you don't believe me, and I'm
Really?
No one will
Whatever,
ever believe you.
I'm, just like,
Lotion, you've pulled this trick before.
I'm like,
You goddamn alcoholic. Yeah, tell us what you saw out the window, huh?
I'm assuming nobody saw the bottle. I'll just leave it there for now.
No one saw it.
Okay, good.
It's it's in a place that's accessible and visible only to you, as if by
Oh.
design.
Can you pull up the map of...
Into my pocket.
Can you pull up the map of Tilbos? And then we'll be like, yeah, this is where we'll stop. So this is a good point in the play to give a good shout out to all of the listeners.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking around and listening. Really appreciate it.
In a way,
Yeah.
you, the listeners, are like our herd of unicorn. No one else
Except
knows you exist.
You're a bit more like a flock of sheep.
No one will recognize you, but we care about you.
Yeah.
And also, unicorns don't exist.
And Clark's drinking brought you about.
Yeah.
My what?
Drinking.
Your drinking brought them about.
Did?
Well, like in
Oh, the unicorns. I thought you meant the listeners.
Unicorns. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm calling the unicorn.
yeah.
The listeners. I'm calling them
okay.
unicorns.
And
And
I
it was.
thought this was going to turn into an intervention.
No, and it was a
Thank
drunken
you for your
idea
alcoholism.
caused this podcast to come into formation.
Gotcha. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
it was
Yeah.
really nice until you ruined it.
So with Clark ruining everything, I'd like to thank everyone out there.
Yeah, actually, thank you so much.
It's really
you
been
can't
fun.
see it, but at least 2 of us are wearing official Blood Feud with a Sheep merch.
Yeah. You can get said merch on the website, BWAF.
BFWAS, biffwas.com, or bloodfeudwiththesheep.com.
Or
Both
Bloodfeud.
redirect to the same domain.
Give us a like on the old instant gramming,
Well,
or
tell one friend about this podcast
yeah.
and tell them if they don't listen to it, you will cut them.
Well,
Not physically, just out of your life.
yeah, just maybe mentally do some sort of type of mental cutting, like some jibe.
Harsh
Or
words.
like maybe cut carbs.
What's
Cut
cutting
carb-
words?
Well, or
Cutting words? Is that what it is? Is
Yeah.
that a bar?
Cutting words, yeah.
Yeah. So back to the map here. So say we traveled to Wacombe and then we went into the Frisky Peaks somewhere to do the thing, and then our transfer, we showed up. It was kind of around in the Frisky Peaks, same sort of deal, right? But just on the outside of the Frisky Peaks.
Yeah, approximately geographically the same.
So like the east side or the west side of the Frisky Peaks here. Do you have the same map on the?
No, I had to split them so I could pull my notes up.
Did we ever do
the east side?
Sorry to interrupt. Did we ever do a follow-up
Cornell side.
post on the map?
No.
No.
Not once.
I mean, it's on there.
We
People
did.
can
We've
see
only
it.
done. We've only done the one to Wacombe.
So we never did the Frisky Peaks. Okay.
We did forget about that, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh well. Continuing.
Well, dear
Okay.
listeners, fuck yourselves.
We'll add some more maps.
The important detail to draw from the map is that while Sextus and your legions went directly to Cuernos, you took a detour that took you about 2 days further of a ride than they were going to be.
Okay.
It was a 2 days ride from the camp that you were in, and because you've taken a half day's detour and then spent a half day somewhere else, you've added probably
4 days.
I would say between 2 to 4 days onto your journey, depending on how hard you push it, because the Legion can't march quite as fast as you can.
We can see Karanos because it's massive, and we see a giant sort of a tower just on the... It's sort of like if you're seeing, what is it, New York from a distance.
Well, it's actually much easier to see Cuernos or this city because we're on a disc. So,
what's weird, actually, you start to see the top of the tower before you see the rest of it as the carriage makes its journey south.
Wait, what? Did we just find out that we're on a globe here? This doesn't make any sense. Lotion's looking at the side of the carriage being like, why can't I see the base of the tower?
And then suddenly you see just the tip.
What is going on
Clark's just the tip as the tower starts to rise in the distance.
What's happening?
This magnificent, gnarled, mangled-looking tower in a style of architecture you've never seen before approaches over the horizon as you start to make your way towards the Citadel of Truth. And as you kind of crest over a hill, because it's kind of a hilly region just around the outside of the city, you see in its full splendor and glory the Citadel of Truth. And it is both breathtakingly beautiful and
Terrifying.
Like, it gives you a vibe of something is wrong here. And it emanates power and respect and fear. Yes, Rob.
So, zero interaction with the coachman.
You're sure you don't want to talk about, I don't know, local history or... No? Okay.
My great-grandfather was buried, right?
But then he was resurrected because he's a
We had
bone.
dinner with him last week. It was very lovely. Thank you again for your service.
The weird part about skeleton generations is we're all present.
So
So it's less of a tree and just more of a line.
More of a... it's less of a globe and more of a flat disc.
So then, on that note, those extra bonus 5 hit points that we got from you from that spell, do we still have those?
They last 24 hours. So
Then
they
no.
So they would be gone. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So we're all back up to...
Although you would see the Citadel of Truth coming from about, let's say, a day's ride away, because it's such a massive structure. So I would allow you, Clark, if you would like, to recast that spell.
Sure. Lotion would recast AIDS. So Lotion the Tinkerer casts Aid on I'm allowed to cast it on 3 individuals, I believe.
It is 3, because you chose someone else other than
Right.
yourself.
So I say, Shun, cast it on you. Alacordia, I cast it on you. And I look at Sir Steele and I stop and I go,
He's
And
petting the plant. He's like,
And then
Ian plant. Best ones forever.
and then I aim it at the plant. And I cast Aid on the plant and it gets 5 HP. Its HP increases by 5 for 24 hours.
Interactions, 0 with the guy. But we're going to have to stop somewhere outside of the city and continue on foot because they're not going to accept
A bone carriage.
a bone
Yeah,
carriage.
I mean, from this
Yeah,
hill
we've said
that
that
you've
before.
crested, you can see that there is very obviously a wall built up around what used to be the city that is now almost fully overtaken by this tower. And there are so many Ilmatari, army guards at every gate. And they are closely examining every person who comes and goes from the city.
So shall we? I'm happy to take the lead on this.
So,
It's probably smartest that I do.
yeah, well, I guess we dismiss the carriage, we stop, and now I guess is the time we can have an interaction with the
The
carriage.
carriage rider and the carriage just slowly back into a bush and disappear.
Just Homer Simpson to that one. Remember we were going to use that as a verb?
Yes.
And we still will.
Yep, we
They
just
Homer,
did.
They Homer Simpson away.
And I go, oh no, I had so many questions for him.
Well, Alacordia's got her shield strapped to her back and the battle axe still put into the bag of holding that's on her hip.
You have 5 bags of holding. Let's be clear.
I only had 3.
Right, 3. Yes.
It was 3 because there was the axe, the great axes, the daggers, and I just grabbed another one, and I think it was like spears or something, javelins.
You have an incredibly large armada
Arsenal.
of weapons.
Yeah.
Arsenal, that's the word. Thank you. Armada is boats. There's 4, as far as you can tell, 4 gatehouses around the city proper. They're all guarded, obviously, by the Ilmatari Legion.
Okay. Well, Shan, you might have to take this because you're kind of the lead, and we're kind of your lieutenants in this world here.
When Lotion stepped out of the carriage, it's not Lotion, it's Zark Muckerberg. And he's just,
Well, wait, but
and he's
it's a
like
random
shaking.
roll every time, right?
Human toast.
Oh, right. Is it different every time?
For now.
Okay.
Go with Zark Markerberg.
Zark Muckerbird steps off and he's trembling and he goes, well. I mean, he looks up at the tower and he feels that dread. Does it look like the tower in Cuernos?
It looks like it would have been the same tower, and then parts of it have like expanded out randomly in a way that doesn't follow the normal sense of like the way builders would do it, but more in the way of like, you know, that one house, the haunted house in the United States where this woman went nuts and she kept building additions on
The Winchester house.
There we go.
Yeah, it's got a Winchester house
I
feel
went
to
there.
it.
It was cool.
Like,
Really?
Yeah,
things
it's
have
fucking
been
cool.
Did
shooting.
they give you a free rifle at the end?
I wish.
Things
It's
have been
inhabited with the souls of the dead.
things have been shooting out from this tower in a way that like makes to you seemingly no sense. And you know there's probably some purpose behind it, but to you it's lost.
Okay, that's cool. Lotion looks at this and he kind of trembles, and I immediately do like a 90-degree turn and start walking towards what would be, I'm assuming there's a tavern nearby.
No,
yeah.
we're on the outside. We're on the outskirts of town. There's nothing.
Oh, I thought we were at the base of the tower. Sorry.
No.
Is there a
we-
tavern on the
we-
outskirts of town?
No, we got dropped off on the outskirts of town because
much of the city has actually been pushed out to make room for the expansion. So there's small little settlements kind of all in and around the general area.
Lotion, no.
There's for sure just like a little hamlet nearby with a tavern and a couple of houses and some locals who you could ask some questions to if you wanted.
Oh,
Alacordia just grabs Lotion's collar and
oh, no. We've got time.
No.
We've got time. We've got time.
No, we've
Look at this.
We've
Lotion,
spent
we
enough
want to go
time.
see our
Let's go.
dads.
This is-
Okay. We would like to speak with our fathers.
There are 3 fathers and we need to speak to all of them.
Lotion's like, no. We're on the pub crawl. We have to hit every pub before we get to the tower of the Citadel of Truth. We all agreed to this.
Not a chance.
No.
Sir Steele goes for a high five and then sees the vibe and he pulls his hand back down.
Just pets the plant.
All right. Let's
High
go.
fives the plant.
We walk up to one of the gates and Shun leads.
Okay. You're walking up to the gate and the soldiers look at you and immediately clasp their fists to their chest in a form of salute, and they start to kneel down and then they pause for a moment. And then they stand back up and they kind of stand back at attention. They say, they go, hi, no. My lord, what brings you to the Citadel?
Pardon me?
I,
Oh no. Here we go. Get the
my lord, it is not my place to tell you your standing in rank within our...
You are correct. It is not.
prepare the gallows.
Please. We have been told that when you arrive, we are to receive you with open arms and bring you directly to the Citadel, unless you should want to stop by your family manor, Lord Lotion, before you attend.
He's got his hat on.
Please. I don't know where Lord Lotion is.
Instead it's
He's supposed to
Zark
be with you,
Muckerberg,
and
thank
I'm
you.
saying he's got a piece of paper and he's just reading it. My Lord Inquisitor, and his mouth does a weird thing. He says "shun" instead of the word he's trying to say. I understand there has been strife between you and your father recently. I am just a messenger. Please do not murder me. We can show you to the manor or to the Citadel at your pleasure. However, you are to be accompanied by a small garrison of guards to keep you from coming and going to places you are not meant to access, on direct order of your father.
And may I know where I may or may not access?
Those 2 places I listed.
Wait, so we're only allowed to go to one of those two places?
You can go to Losian's family manor or to the Citadel, but you have been given commands to come basically directly to your dad. And they keep almost calling you High Inquisitor and then catching themselves and be like, High Inquisitor.
And may I ask,
My lord.
who has recently received a promotion in rank?
Please.
Please no.
Boblin the Goblin.
High Inquisitor Sextus.
So help me.
Promoted.
I shall see the living saint.
My lord. And he genuflects.
You what?
It genuflect. It means you get down on one knee and you like
Okay, gotcha.
bow and show.
I'm imagining like
Deference.
he's flexing. Genuflex.
Yeah, well, I'll take you to the Citadel if you want.
Genuflex for $29.99.
Yeah, are you guys cool with that? We just go to the Citadel?
I mean, there's nothing else that I need to see out here.
Sextus has got hell to pay.
So
I haven't killed anyone yet, but Sextus might die.
you've been demoted.
Sextus has just usurped me. Sextus is going down.
Boy. Your
Shun, this doesn't seem like a really good sign if your father has demoted you.
You a bitch!
No, we are taking the Sextus guy down. I don't care.
Mad Queen.
This is the
coming here.
point of this dream here.
Not Cersei, Daenerys. Daenerys is just outside the city of Aquarius right now. Just
How does it feel, Steven? To lose all that rank.
Where is Sextus?
To fall so high.
What was Sextus's previous rank?
He was your second in command.
Yeah, but what was like the technical rank? What would it have been? Like just Lord Sextus?
You never did ask.
Low in.
Well, no, but I would know. And where is
Lord General?
Regular Inquisitor.
And where is the Lord General?
My lord, the High Inquisitor is at the tower awaiting your arrival. He.
Yes, very
Please-
well. Bring
please
us
don't-
to the Lord
Please don't
General.
make me.
Very well.
He made a point of telling every garrison. to
I'm sure he
send-
did.
To send a messenger when you arrive so that he can be there to greet you.
Oh, I'm sure he did. They rushed back as soon as they could.
We sent a rider the moment we saw you crest the horizon.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
I want to roll insight if they're actually like
Please don't kill me.
just concerned for themselves, or if they're actually just like, yeah, fuck Sextus.
Losian looking like Zark
Ooh.
Muckerbird with his
23.
cold dead eyes just looks at him right in the eyes and goes, "Don't worry, we have your best interest at heart."
I'm so scared.
23 insight.
With a 23, you're getting the vibe of both. They had an incredible amount of respect for the High Inquisitor. So to see you demoted is painful for them. But also, there is a
Well,
level of
if they're new.
fear of authority that you would attribute to...
My own.
Well, you know how... I mean,
How I
you've seen
treated
this
them?
world. You've seen how the world is treated by those who don't defer to the living saint and his will.
Yeah.
There's fear and respect and confliction there.
The implication. I gently touch Alicordia and Sir Steel and Shun. I say, "Can I have a moment?" And we step away from
The guards.
the guards.
Oh, Legate Tyrannus.
The guards. Legate Tyrannus.
He's a legate. That's a rank.
Yeah,
Oh, Legate. I thought it was a French name. Legate. And I say, "No, I can't believe I'm suggesting this, but if it comes to it, if there's some sort of civil dispute,
We throw all the beans at Lord General Sextus.
And we protect the plant.
I was going
Yes,
to
that
suggest
too.
I was going to suggest that you might have loyal followers.
Oh,
it's true.
that's interesting.
You might have people that back you.
Well, I certainly hope so.
I mean, I can tell you as an outside observer who's terrified of all of this and everything, just generally, you've commanded an incredible amount of respect and power until very recently, but the word of the living saint is akin to law. I've seen people break laws.
And what happens when they break the laws?
He kills them.
They die.
He or she.
Well, I have been conditioned to say he over the course of several days of being present with you. I do not question gender politics. But
My boy.
my good Lord High Inquisitor demands it. Weirdly, I don't want to be that guy, but she is a woman. But I respect choices made by people. And this plant is my best friend.
Have you named it Aubrey?
He's my bud. He has buds.
Is it a holly plant, Buddy Holly?
That's it.
That's
good.
it. That's the one.
That's good. That's good.
Unfortunately, we do not have the element of surprise going to the, or not going to the Citadel of Truth. Is there a pub nearby?
No, we are going to the Citadel of Truth. We can only go to the two places, Lotion.
And like the armed garrison is like, no.
I mean, do we have to?
Yes, we're
Yeah,
going.
we kind of do.
Well, there's all of these men with swords pointing at you, like one arm out, resting on their forearm. Like, you kind of have to.
Well, there is no need.
We have time
You
for
may put
one.
your swords away.
First round's on
We
me.
will go.
You kind of have.
There's no need
No
for the
one
sword.
puts their sword away.
Can roll persuasion, anything? Jeez.
Sure, yeah.
Like 12.
There's about 20 of them, and 3 of them put their swords down. And they look at the commander, and the commander is like pensive about it. And then he kind of goes, look,
Very well.
No
Let
one
us
needs-
be on our way.
no one needs to be harmed here. You are simply to be brought to your father for a discussion. And that
Yes,
is
and
the
that
end
is
of it.
where we're going.
I think we have time for just one flagon of ale.
I'll give it up, Lotion.
Shut up.
There's a guy in a cart like,
Alcordia.
ale here! One flagon of ale!
Just licking my lips. just one.
And did you grab the bottle out of the carriage?
He did,
You don't know
but-
about it.
We have
But that's
It's
his
been,
reserve.
it's been a few days.
It's his
I'm pretty sure we
reserve.
caught it by
we
then.
have the 10 scion flag of ale here.
It's been a couple of days. It's probably gone.
There's that, yeah.
just one. No, it's in my pocket.
The 10 scion? Go ahead and write that down.
The 10 scion? Was that the stuff from the carriage?
10 scion. It's Lotion.
Oh,
I have
10
L-O.
ISON.
SIAN. 10 like
And
what's a
scion.
scion?
A monetary value. It's called the scion. It's not a dollar. It's called a scion. It's like a rupee.
it's a currency.
It's a rupee or a pound.
Oh,
A peso.
does it exist in Earth?
A franc.
Jesus, no, this is what they're calling it here.
Every drink is worth 1 Lotion.
Oh.
There it is.
I see.
There it is.
Rod and Steven and Scott just had to pull out the sock puppets and explain it to me for a few hours. And now that we're back, I finally figured out.
And
We've
we're
actually
back.
just shut off the recording for the past like 45 minutes.
We had to we rang the bell.
When I step on your foot and I
Precisely. Okay.
I was pretty proud of that one, and
So-
then that happened.
So when Lotion hears that, so this is part of Lotion's backstory. He's been following signs. That's a sign. So Lotion, I guess a stealth roll or something. I want to sneak away to go to this.
Absolutely.
As I shift my eyes here.
Gonna get us all killed.
Yeah.
sign, everywhere a sign.
That's much better. 16.
You start to wander off, and the guards kind of go, who the fuck is that guy? That generic human man who's possibly a robot. They're very, very keen on the two of you, Shun and Alacordia. But, I mean, they don't give a shit about fucking Zark Muckerberg.
So
And they also don't
True.
care about Sir Steele, who is kind of like there, but they're not like, they almost form a circle up around the two of you, and they almost exclude him. He's like, hi, I'm actually here with a plant.
Alacordia goes, Steel, go with
the most generic human. Just
that.
walk
Steel,
away.
go.
It's almost so
Go
generic
follow.
they don't see him, you know? It's like a template for an NPC that wasn't filled in by the video game.
Just T-posed all the time.
And it's like glitch.
I must return to my planet.
Poochie.
Sir Steele, maybe go follow after our friend there and meet us at the tower in a few hours.
Bud and I will not let you down.
That sounds great. Make sure that Bud doesn't get any hurt. Make sure you get some water, a bit of water, and maybe some kisses too. That's pretty good.
Give some kisses.
Everyone kiss the plant.
No cross pollination though.
Holding it up in front of the guards.
The guards all give it a little.
My Lord Shun, maybe we should go talk to your father.
You of all people will still refer to me as High Inquisitor, please.
Everyone goes.
I swear to God.
Record scratch.
Yeah, record scratch.
The one person who probably never wanted to in the first place.
So the two of you head off towards the tower under heavy guard, and meanwhile, Zark Muckerberg and Sir Steele and a plant wander off in the other direction. And there's a pub just like kind of on the way. You can like see it down the main avenue there.
Sorry, I split the party. I didn't think I was going to go this far.
No, it's fine.
You walk in and you
Had to get a drink.
sit down and you put the plant on top of the table and you're sitting there and a guy comes by to bring you pints and he goes, "What brings you to the fine Citadel this afternoon?" Hello.
Yes. Could I have some water for my friend plant buddy here?
I feel compelled to do this thing.
I know, he's a very compelling plant.
He's watering the plant and he goes, "I will give it a little kiss, just a little one.
I know, he's very, very, very...
If you get in combat, weird shit will happen."
I know, it's a very, very lovely plant. Yes.
Lojan is caught off guard with that question. He wasn't expecting. He just wanted to order. He's like, "Flag and a veil, please." But I'm here on business. And he delivers it in the least convincing way possible.
Sir Steele stops and
Do me a
looks
favor
at you.
and give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
I hope I rolled 2 ones.
I hope so.
There's persuasion.
Yep.
Disadvantage is a 8.
I mean, that is horseshit.
No one really comes here on business anymore, but I can get you a flagon or something.
Thank you. What's your strongest, cheapest ale?
I have some paint thinner in the back.
Sir Steele, do you have any?
Oh, that won't do for Buddy.
Perhaps
I'll just have some water and maybe a wine? Yes, a wine would be lovely.
yes, of course. Of course.
One paint thinner, 1 wine, 1 water.
Lojan, give me a perception check.
10.
You kind of hear people talking in and around you, and you don't pick out terribly much. But one thing you do pick out is there's a name that keeps coming up in conversation. Grand High Sufferer Arturus. People keep talking about how he kept trying to help the common people and how there's increasingly this disconnect between the Citadel and the low folk. But apparently he mysteriously died a few weeks back. And you don't know what that means.
Died? I beckon the barkeep closer as I smell my paint thinner.
Are the odors not to your liking? The secret ingredient is paint thinner.
Barkeep,
Oui.
what is your name?
Jean Passat.
Are his eyes pointing in the wrong direction? And every time he pulls a pint, it's on the floor and he has to move up there.
I've lost so much money doing this. I'm a terrible barkeep.
Every pint has 2 spigots so we can catch them.
Okay.
Which of the four of you said that? I'm Jean-Paul Sartre, famous philosopher, bartender.
Jean. I keep hearing about the death of Arturus. Grand High Sufferer. Grand High Sufferer?
Yeah, we.
That's the same position as Losian, right?
Oui.
That was a meta question, but you answered in character. I love it. So that rings extra because that is Losian's exact position in the church. And he goes, Grand High Sufferer Arturus. How did he die?
Well, the four master sufferers had, as you know, constructed the gates in and out of the tower of the Citadel so that no undead could come or pass, and only the truthful could enter. And the process was so intricate that it basically killed all four of them. All four of them passed away in making this project. It was wild. They started, and it, over the course of a fortnight, turned this tower from this beautiful building into an inescapable prison, basically, inside and out, where only the truthful and alive may pass. Each entry and exit, window, everything about the tower was locked down. And then Grand High Sufferer Arturus came, and he provided basically all of the support of the high clergy, except for the living saint. He spoke for the people. There was belief that, should that living saint pass, he would have been next in line. He was this paragon of the people. And then they say he fell out of a window.
Defenestration.
I mean, it's better than the master sufferers who all died from some dark, wasting disease from the inside. Like something ate them
Depression
from the inside out. Physically.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
This place doesn't sound like very nice to you.
It's very...
There's a lot of things happening here.
So Losian's listening to all this, being like, "Oh, that's right. If I enter, I might die." And then he's also hearing what sounds like the foil of himself was thrown from a window, and he's just like, and he just downs his paint thinner, and is just like trembling, and like the sweaty meme where he's wiping the sweat off his face. Like, okay, so Grand High Arturus was fell, quote unquote.
Well, I hope that doesn't ever happen to my buddy here.
Yes, I hope I don't burst into flames when I enter the Citadel. Not that I wouldn't. Not that I would.
That's a thing.
Everyone in the room goes,
Arcana check. Will I burst into flames if I enter the Citadel? Okay.
roll for it, baby.
Man, I can't roll above 10 today. 9.
I mean, you were cautioned that you should take a lot of the drug that gives you life beforehand, or else you would in fact die.
Barkeep. Jean,
Oui.
are you looking at me?
Of course I am. He's not. He's not.
What did this...
When he says I got my eyes on you, he actually like both hands and like points opposite directions.
Holding 2 hand mirrors out to the side so you can see.
What did this Arturus look like?
I mean, his appearance was mundane. I don't know, some half-elf.
Half-elf, you say?
Yes, but his faith never wavered, despite everything. He held true to his beliefs to the very last day. We think it was those beliefs that carried him on beyond this living coil. We think the people, at least, believe he killed himself because he could not tolerate what this city has become. I've said too much. I'm sorry.
No.
No, I cannot. There are eyes everywhere.
Eyes? Whose eyes?
But there's lots of eyes on a potato, you know.
And he like turns to another team and goes, "Oh, what's this? You want wine? Do not talk to me again."